This is literally the tiniest 4K webcam I've ever used, and I'm giving one away for free. Now, the only reason I even really care about this camera in the first place is because, well, I'm a bit of a wannabe minimalist who really digs small, impressive tech. And I'm kind of getting the itch to stream again, because it's been about 2 years since I've last done so. And I think this cam will probably be my main one going forward, but I do want to thank OBSBOT for sponsoring today's video and giving another one of these away to you guys watching. All you got to do is leave a comment down below letting me know what you'll be using it for, and just leave me your Instagram handle. I will be picking winner in about 2 or 3 weeks time. I think I'm choosing October 25th, which is a Friday. So yeah, let me know how you would use this webcam, and I will hit you up for my own personal Instagram, which I'll leave somewhere here on screen. So that's the only account you will see me replying from. And trust me, you will dig this webcam. Now, getting right into it, what's in the box and why is this webcam so special in the first place? Honestly, the most obvious thing really is the fact that it's simply so tiny, yet the quality this webcam actually has. That, and it's 129 bucks, which lends itself to a really good budget end of the spectrum when it comes to webcams. And this would be great for anybody who wants to stream, do any sort of content creation, or anybody who just wants a decent webcam at a good price. Inside the box though, you do have the Meet 2 itself, alongside some paperwork we're all definitely gonna read, as well as a magnetic privacy cover, a magnetic monitor mount / stand, a Type-C to C cable that also includes a Type-A dongle if you do need it. Now, getting this thing set up is incredibly easy as well. It really is just plug and play. If you do want to customize everything about this camera, from its image to the resolution and all those other fancy filters you might want, there is more on that shortly and I will get into it. For me, at least, I did end up going with the white version, but it does also come in black and mint green. Let me know what you guys think here. The one I'm also giving away is white, since it just looks good and should fit into just about any setup you might have. You've got 2 dots here on the front, which are the built-in omnidirectional mics, alongside a tally light here, which you can turn off or dim if you want to. And probably the coolest thing for me with this webcam is the magnetic monitor mount, since you can pretty much angle your webcam any which way you might want, and it's just simply easy to rotate your camera if you really need to, which is definitely huge for me since it's rare that I wouldn't really be using a monitor light bar in my setup, so this does let me still get a decent angle. Likewise, if you do want to get really funky, you can mount this onto a tripod or something like a magic arm if you do really want to get fancy with your angles, and you can just do this with the bottom threading. And when it comes down to privacy, of course there is a magnetic privacy cover here if you do want to use that. Otherwise, this camera is built incredibly well. It's super minimal and it simply works. I really do dig it. As for the performance of this camera, this is sort of what gets me excited about it. It's the fact that it looks great, not simply just good or whatever. It actually looks great. I'm actually filming this video right now on the camera itself, and I really dig the way it looks, so I have no complaints when it comes down to image quality. Spec-wise though, from a lens standpoint, this is a 1/2 inch sensor at an f1.8 aperture, which does give you really solid natural background blur and separation. So yeah, this camera definitely looks good considering what it is. And since this is a wide angle lens, you have about 70-degree field of view, which I've actually cropped in for this video because there's a lot of resolution to work with, especially with this camera. So it looks pretty great even when it is cropped in like it is right now. And I will get into the settings and stuff, but if you did want it a little bit wider, there is this default wide mode. For me though, I do like it a little bit more punched in. Now, when it comes down to the phase detection autofocus, it works incredibly well. Regardless of my erratic movements, it still just keeps me in focus. Since it is a 4K camera as well, like I mentioned on this wide lens, there's loads of resolution to play with. So yeah, you can always bump in your frame like I mentioned, but you can also have the camera follow you around, keeping you in frame at the same time, or allowing someone else to join the frame and still have you both get shown. Even in low light scenarios, it holds up well. Of course, you're gonna wanna toss on a light or two, but it's an easy way if you do wanna look ominous and mysterious and still look good. Now, the minimalist in me wants to just plug and play this camera since it works right out of the box super easily, but there's a lot going on here, and as a camera nerd, I had to sort of play with everything in the OBSBOT Center. This is available on both Windows and Mac OS, but pretty much it lets you play with a lot more of the settings alongside updating your camera if you need to. In here, you can see all the settings between up to 4 cameras and change them as you see fit. You can change your resolution between 720p and 4K. For myself, I'm probably gonna use 4K while streaming and downsample it to 1080p through my OBS. Because it's gonna be pretty small while streaming in the corner, I think that's gonna be good enough for me. If you are gonna be doing any sort of video recording like I am right now, you can record at 4K 30 FPS, which is what this video is. And one thing I really do like here, especially when recording, is the fact that you can change the file type, because I personally like using MP4 files for editing purposes, but there are loads to choose from, including different bit rates. The quick panel here also lets you change your crop crop like I showed before, going between your wide, narrow, and close settings. And since I am a bit of a camera nerd, I do like to play with all my settings and usually have them on some sort of manual mode. In this case, I did set my white balance manually. I did also change my ISO to be a little bit lower because I just prefer how that looks. You don't have to do this, and the auto mode does an incredible job on its own if you do want to leave all the heavy lifting to the camera itself. But all that stuff is there if you do need it. Now, coming in at 129 bucks, who is this thing for? Honestly, my first thought probably just goes to anybody who wants a really good webcam at a decent price. In the landscape of 4K webcams at least, it's affordable, it looks great, and it just does a damn good job. My only want, I think, would probably be slightly better mics. Of course, it's going to be good enough for any sort of Teams or Slack calls or anything like that, but for anybody who's streaming, you're probably going to want to have an external mic anyways. Secondly, I'd probably say this camera is unique in its form factor, and simply its ability to just automatically change orientation from horizontal to vertical with a flip. This is absolutely awesome for anybody who does both types of streamings between horizontal and vertical, and it holds up incredibly well. Again, if you do want to win one of these, just leave a comment down below letting me know how you use it alongside your Instagram handle, and I will be picking a winner on October 25th. And like I mentioned, this entire video was shot on this webcam, and I am pretty impressed with the quality, but let me know what you guys think. Again, thanks to OBSBOT for sponsoring today's video. I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Till next time.